Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. We have a couple of, we have a Bestech and we have a Bestechman, which is Bestech, right? Now, I know what's in here. I'm not, I don't recognize the name of the model on the outside of that box. We're going to open them up, and I'm going to share this with you guys. These should be available. I will link them both right down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and please, make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Okay, I'm going to start off here with a Bestechman, and here's why. We'll get to this guy. Just hang on. This is the good boy. And if you remember my unboxing, you'll remember that this knife, the first one they sent me, broke. I mean, it didn't like disintegrate, but the button like literally came out. It's literally, they sent me the exact same one. The button popped out of it. Now, I had a talk with Bestech about this, and I said, you know, it's important that I upload the video where I had this failure. This was a legitimate failure, and if these are going to be mass produced, then this is something that I want to take note of. And they said, no problem. Let us, you know, check on that. Make sure that we've got that figured out, and we'll send you one that is functional and try to progress with, you know, functional production moving forward. And I said, okay. So this is that knife, and what I'm going to do is not only am I going to open it and check it here, I'm going to try opening it pretty hard because the failure occurred while I was deploying it really hard. So far, so good. So what I'm going to do, obviously opening it and closing it a few times is not really a good enough test. I'm going to carry and use this thing as I normally would, right? No different than any other knife that I review. But I really obviously need to make sure that that is the case. This is a cool knife. And I would like to report that this is, you know, worth picking up. I think that the idea of, you know, Bestechman doing a button lock is really cool. They can obviously manufacture really, really nice stuff. And here's the thing, you know, I'm all for giving any company a second chance if they're willing to fix, you know, something that wasn't working correctly. For all I know, I could have gotten one that was just a dud, right? I mean, unless we get tons and tons of people reporting that the buttons are popping out of their good boys. I don't know why that's funny. Then, you know, that we can assume maybe that mine was a dud. But I still want to check and make sure. I know that Bestech can manufacture at an incredibly premium level. They are one of the leading OEMs on earth when it comes to production quality. So I'm inclined to believe that mine was a little bit of a goofball. These are, I think, maybe I'm wrong. What's the blade steel on these? Is it 14C28N? Maybe not. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a D2 or something. I like the TLG10 though. I like that they have nested the liners. This is all really nice looking. I love this. What I have to assume is gray PVD on the outside. This looks really good. Nice jimping, Spyderco style, real close together. We have a crowned spine, fully flat ground blade with a little bit of a change in grind towards the end to make it a little thicker. This is an interesting knife and has all the makings of a really, really good EDC knife. I even really like the pocket. It's a little bit thin, but not bad, right? Everything else about this knife suggests that it should be a really good EDC knife. And I'm guessing that the price on it is going to be really good because it's a Bestechman. So I will carry and use this knife thoroughly to make sure that it's good to go, and I will report my findings in the final review. Let's go ahead and I'll make sure that that's linked down there. You guys can check it out. It appears to be okay, right? I mean, just flipping it a few times here. I don't know if I can. It's not really, I don't recommend doing that. That's what we call the new guy whip, or the, you know, the clueless coworker whip, right? Let me see that knife. And they open it up this much, okay? Don't do that with your knives. Don't do that. It's such like a nose in the air elitist thing to say. And then we have the Glok and 14C28N. Okay, so this is a regular Bestech. Oh, so we have a perhaps a budget. Look at this thing. This is interesting. A budget button lock from Bestech. That does work. I have definitely seen this profile before, but not with the, you know, normally I don't like these things. And I keep saying that, And I think I had such a bad experience with so many of them for so long that I just didn't expect any of them to work. But that does create significant leverage, and it's very easy to deploy. Ergonomically, yeah, that does work. We have kind of a... Normally you see this continued and the frame continue out. I wonder if... It looks like what they did here, because if you continued the frame out to match this line, then the frame would look significantly wider than the blade, but they're kind of masking that a bit by bringing the frame back and then following the line of the edge, which actually does aesthetically work pretty well. So this is kind of a coyote. I promised that I would do more close-ups. Now that we've got the definition maxed out and we're going at 60 frames per second. Sorry, we got some spray paint on my thumb still. But I now that we've got the definition really capped out here, I promised that I would do more close-ups. I'll let you guys look here. We once again have nested liners, which is cool. We have a nice pocket clip, which they did not mill out for on the other side. I'm not sure why. Come on, Bestech. Lefties can easily use these button locks just by manipulating it with their index finger. I'm even doing it with my... I'm doing the left-handed reverse flick, no problem. The action is very good. The centering is good. Might be slightly to the left, but that's usually a turn of the pivot. How about this guy? This guy's dead on. Yeah, okay. I kind of like these short clips. I don't like the extended bill, but I do like the shorter clip. That's nice. And they have nested the clip and recessed the screw on this guy. Let's weigh them both here real quick. One of these days, guys, I'm going to learn to have the scale within eyesight before I start these videos. For some reason, that scale is always hidden. It's one of the biggest objects on my desk, and it's always hidden. So the Glok weighs 3.53 ounces. The Good Boy weighs almost exactly the same, 3.49. Let's measure them both real quick, give you guys an idea of what we're looking at. I'm going to guess this guy is about 8 inches. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, 8 1/8. Blade length 3.5. Cutting edge 3.45. No, it's almost exactly the same. Yeah, 3.45 to 3.5. The Glok probably also maybe a little shorter. It's 8 on the dot. 3.5 inch blade. 3.3 inch cutting edge. A little bit of an extension there. How about just a couple of size comparisons? We'll just put them up against each other. Do the Demco AD 20.5, the Benchmade Reptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue. Custom scales can be found in the description under Original Goat. How about, should we do the Pyrite maybe? Should we scoot these down so that it's actually centered up correctly? That might be helpful. Ontario Rat, Model 1. Here we go. And what's another good one? How about the Benchmade Bug Out? Maybe one more. Spyderco Para 3. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, honestly, two pretty decent knives. I am much more in favor of the aesthetic. Like, personally, I like the aesthetic of the Good Boy a lot better. And I would like for that to be a perfectly functional knife because, you know, it's a good-looking, functional EDC. At this point in, you know, reviewing as many knives as I do, I've found that less expensive button locks, and it's not exclusive to any one OEM, less expensive button locks have a higher rate of failure. It's not super high, but it's a lot higher than any of the other locking systems. Once we get into some of the more expensive stuff, like, for example, Les George's, you know, mid-tech button lock VECP, that thing will not, it won't fail, right? A lot of those nicer, right? Even some of the in-between stuff. We talked about the ProTech Malibu. I've handled multiple Malibus. None of them ever failed. But I just wonder if there's just a like a super mass production geometry issue with some of these button locks. Maybe I've gotten duds, but I've seen a few button lock failures, so I'm a little, you know, I want to really make sure. So I'll test it out and be sure. But yeah, these are interesting. So like I said, they'll both be linked in the description. That's going to be pretty much it today. Both knives will get full comprehensive reviews down the road. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.